Going. Okay. So today I'm going to talk about version control systems. And version control systems is probably something that you've already used in your academic life, but you don't even realize it. So I, for a long time, have used this tried and true method of version control. So you can imagine here is your little file finder window. And you've probably got something like this. So you might have one file, call it teds code.r, and then maybe you have teds code v2.r, then teds code final.r, and then the one that gets really confusing, teds code final real final.r. So the principle we like to work off is generally if you have to do something multiple times, you will probably screw it up. It's nothing to do with you personally, it's simply human nature. So you can kind of organize these by maybe sorting them about the most recently edited, but what if you accidentally edited code final? Now that's the most recently edited, so you don't really know. Am I working off this version because that's the most recent? Or am I working off this version because this got the word final in there twice? I don't really know. Then you add somebody else into the mix and it gets entirely more confusing. So there is an alternative to this, and that is version control systems. And there's multiple programs, so I'm going to start off just talking about them in the most generic sense. So instead of having a system like this, where you've got all these different files that are essentially the same with slight modifications, you can have one single file that you keep track of and have multiple versions of it through time, but not multiple files that are different. And that, graphically, we can think of it as looking something like this, where we have my most recent version, teds code.r, and let's say I've got 3 different versions. So it's the same thing. Instead, each one of these past versions is referenced with some ID number, and then we use what's called a commit message. So every time I make some significant change in my code, I want to commit it and say this is a significant change, and I'm going to mark that. So I give it, it is automatically assigned this ID number, and then I would give it some sort of description. So I might say, just starting, and then I might go on and say, did something amazing. Now obviously you want to be more descriptive than did something amazing, because I assume you're doing something amazing every time you commit. I'm probably done, right?
Yeah.
Okay.